like to put out a big thank you for road crews dealing with many issues. They have to visit late eight and have to deal with it. Watching them work is Beach Road repairs happened pretty quickly. Road got back in use, and neighboring road crews showed up, helped out a lot. That was great. The work is ongoing. So today it's working up on east. I mean on Slang and West Road as well. Let's see. Front porch forum on Wednesday. Message went out on the road closure. Another post went out on the 21st of July about the closures, and another post went out today showing it's back open again. I attended the Vermont Emergency Management meeting on the recent floods. We meet around 3 a week, mostly dealing with towns that had a lot of flooding issues and debris and what to do with that, and what to do with flooded homes and danger what's in the water that's during the floods. I also attended the LCT meeting, just touching base with the towns once again about the issues they're having. There was a heat warning that went out on the front porch forum along some other timely info because we are in the summer now, and I haven't really had a chance to put stuff up about bicycles and things because there's so much other stuff's going on. And according to the state and the National Weather Service, we probably need to have a discussion of what's going to happen in the future because they're predicting the possibility of stronger and flooding in the future. So this is going to be what they call quote the new normal. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I like to personally note that I would like to thank Bob Roth for many things. I get these emails, and I'm well swamped from the bar stuff, bridge stuff, tech meetings, and all of those things. So I appreciate Bob for participating and doing all these things. It's important for us, because it helps Rick with FEMA grants and money to get our money back from all these items if FEMA comes through for the state of Vermont. But just to document all these things and to do all these things and keep all these ducks in the line is a lot of work and takes a lot of time and effort. And for a non-paying job, like most of these things we have here, I really thank you for the hard work and dedication of the town and helping all the citizens to get this accomplished, because it's a lot of work and there's not a lot of people stepping up and helping out. So going on forward with that, we will put in Mr. Kluger right now.
Okay, so the culverts. My goal is next week to do this one over here at the culvert shop, but I'm gonna have to close it over because it's too much down on the telephone call.
Yep.
We're trying to get Sean to get out here today. That's what he said. Trying to get
And again, thank you for working on that Friday on that culvert there. I know that's a lot of work. And I have a letter that's going to be sent out to the city of Jennings for the hard work and dedication. I will send something to Sean too, so let me know who they are, so I can thank Cal for the help. I'm considered just.
this is on.
Yeah, that's right.
I ain't got it all right.
Well, I'm not worried about roadside only right now. I'm more concerned about traffic. Yeah. Roads open beside fire, ambulance, and police to get by.
The other thing is, with the herders, we are they are flooding them. 9 years ago, when I put in that road, the same month, for a night, dropping too much runoff into the lake, so they decided to change my car. Well, I got light cover around the area.
Yeah.
No, there's not much to do that. I wanted to look like when we were doing it.
And they were just like
Now we're that. And I got speed in court and just for like 10 minutes. Of course, it goes now. And the child runs out of water to it. We find that we got on.
Yeah.
So that's July 30th.
Okay. Well, we gotta do what we gotta do, and, it's just notify, dispatch, we're closing the door for the next month.
Yeah, we do that.
I guess, reinforce.
And I get order tomorrow, full time, if I ran out some.
Yeah. All right.
There, I've never seen water, Bobby brings fence,
Yeah.
water will come out. Yeah.
Across my driveway.
And so it's all that water. I mean, when it's out.
So it's on that next.
But, I mean, no, 5.5 inches of rain, but.
Yeah.
And then like walks, we're not set up for it. That's why I want to wall this.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
I had, Christian beating all that stuff in 2 days. And it's basically pouring rolls out.
Yeah, semi-loads, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you asked me about that, I said, yeah, go ahead and get that done.
That was definitely worth it.
Okay, great.
We get 7 months stay out of here.
Well, we're not doing the second batch now, this is what we do, so.
Thank you.
The only thing I would just want to do is, I think it's really important, I want to talk to you really quickly, besides make sure that we update our culvert list, so. Yeah, because, that whole one where you didn't see we didn't know there was one there on East Road.
Oh, that was never off. There's colors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And both sides are off.
Yep.
So longer than the upstairs, concrete floor.
Yep.
So then
Okay.
and the other thing down here, Chuck's right there. When we go do that culvert, family cities, somehow we gotta get out of that ravine to pull that stone out. Water. You have an issue with that? That's how we're.
Oh, yeah, figure out what's wrong.
Yeah.
All right. All right, thanks for all your. Tell Mr. Stone too, that we appreciate his work. Okay.
Well, 5 separate like dovetails on that. Tom Schultz came to say that the culvert in front of their place is really too small, and they've had flooding on all the rains in their basement. Our homes have had flooding, and then one other neighbor who's maybe mentioned, so it's just have to work.
And that was given to Mr. Butcher, was concerned.
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, because, we are not.
Tom said he would talk to me directly, so we're not that.
Thank you, what it is. All right. Zoning violation enforcement.
David, you had asked David to check into other towns.
Yeah, Dave, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I read the ordinances for Ferrisburg, Moncton, and also for Virgins. Addison's is, of course, not online. I don't know if you're aware, but there's 2 ways a zoning violation can be enforced. One is for the town's attorney to file suit against the violator in the environmental court. And the other way is to have the Judicial Bureau enforce a violation. To have the Judicial Bureau enforce a violation, Someone would have to be appointed as the enforcement officer, and the zoning regulations would have to be revised to give that person the authority to basically write parking tickets. Once a parking ticket is written, the judicial bureau is the small claims court that adjudicates whether or not the fine that had been imposed was justified. Currently, our bylaws do not, our regulations do not provide for that. And the only town is Virgins that does.
Okay.
My real question is any of these methods successful? And again, I've been to court a couple times with the town where it's basically either they can't afford to do it, make the changes, or they just ask, the judge basically asks to make changes of what's going on, and there's no real follow-up, and then we end up going back to court, or just kind of dropping it as it's becoming too expensive to just constantly doing that, or let's say infractions. I won't say it's minor because no one thinks if it's happening to them, it's ever minor, it's significant. So the question is, what system works the best, and which one you think we should travel?
I'm not prepared to respond to that question because I've not experienced either one.
Okay, that's fair. You want some more time to talk to the people in Harrisburg, Milton, and Jens, and find out how they manage this?
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Do you want a couple more weeks and then come back at the next select board meeting and have time to talk to the people in those towns and see how they manage it and whether or not things are successful?
I will talk to the zoning administrator for Virgins to find out if their system is viable. Currently, I don't think there's very much enforcement using the town's attorneys.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you, Dave.
It's been an ongoing
Yep.
conversation, it sounds like.
All right, let us move on to the grievance appeal.
Just to say that there is a single grievance being appealed. It was denied on last Wednesday evening at 5:15 here.
Yep, yes, we know. That's our BCA info. Yes. Okay, fire protection contract, Dave.
Just a matter of approving it and signing it.
What this is a contract that we have with the city of Virgins to offer fire protection for the town of Payne. And that's relative to the cost of $52,000. City of Virgins responds to the town of Payne about 17 times. I'd like to make a motion to accept the contract with the City of Virgins fire protection.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And under communication, that's we can update on Virgins for the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you ready?
Yes.
Just information given Alexander August 10th, catering permit. No, those are the standard ones that are not required. So, like, board, people. I should clarify that in the past, that we have not, I mean, I'm not sure I'm around to say no, right? We
Right,
talked
it's
about
right.
it before, so.
Okay, until there's an issue. Vermont Local Government Institute.
This is a thing that the LCT and UVM are offering, there's a little sheet in your I-3, and yours like participate, because it's all background on how more effectively run town.
Great. Thank you for doing that. Is that, this is basically towards clerks.
Clerks, town administrators, all that sort of thing.
Okay.
So, they can ask for a select board letter of, support of the
Okay.
candidate.
So if you would, go right for it.
Yeah, I would say sweet. We're okay with her being in this free process.
Go.
You're right.
Here's your permission.
Okay, all right, we are moving on to public comment, and again, please, if you go into public comment, just,
Just, we're happy to listen to you, not repeat ourselves, again, we spent 6 plus hours with public comment on this material, and we'll take as much time as we need. But if people are repeating themselves, that's when it starts to get challenging. So, and speak with like the scale, make sure that you are heard. Okay, so, first person. Wait for public comment. Okay, thank you.
I would just like to say that if you've heard things from people who become public, it's also heard. And I cannot believe that after 7 meetings, select board meetings, that the select board members have not looked at the material of the solar farm proposal, looked at the town plan. If you have not looked at it, then you have not of the comments. And to sit there and say, no, I haven't studied it, I haven't looked at it, that's not a paper. You need to be responsive to the people. And at least look at the material. I'd also like to say on your last meeting, executive session, you go into it, you have discussion, you come out of executive session, you say if you did anything, you discuss things, no action taken, and then you adjourn the meeting. You do not adjourn a meeting during executive session. No comment, it's right on the record, it's on the recording. That happened.
Sure.
Did she
no,
note that correction?
closer to the mic, Sharon, so people who are on Zoom can hear you.
Did you note the correction on because there's a typo here, it's 1:40 a.m. at the end of executive session. Okay, and then is there more minutes coming? I mean, there's no wording. No written minutes?
Not, okay, it's not 2 hours of transcribing what everybody said.
I thought that why not?
No, this is not transfers, this is just basically what actions were taken. And under Robert's Rules of Orders and under the VLCT, all you have to do is explain what events that are happening, what information needs to be present is, let's say, monies, that's showing movement of monies, but discussions, if we were saying about a truck, let's say purchasing a truck, there was a discussion about crew chiefs in the truck, and blah, blah, went from this time to this time. And we don't have to say, Joe was in favor, Mary was not, Sam wanted it, Joan did not. You know,
I'm talking about minutes from public comment from the special meeting.
I'm saying, those are all minutes of like that, they are not a transcript.
Okay, well, that's not what how I read law, but I will double check that.
Please do.
My question about, Mary's suggestion for a vote, Mary Rogers suggested that the town hold a vote on this solar issue. And there were a couple of people that voiced their support for that vote, and I'm wondering where that, stands right now. Where are you on considering having a vote, when would that take place? What would your, maybe your wording be, what would vote be about?
Okay, so if we decide to do it, which I will say, I am in favor of. We're having, it will take place on the day that we have everybody voting, so we have to turn out the general election in November. We have the time for this, because, again, the 45-day period, and my understanding of what everything we heard in the last meeting was everything that Shaftesbury did started in the 45-day period, so we have a 6-week jump on that, based on the expected time that's what's gonna happen. That the 45-day period, they putting it into the general election is what we would consider to be the best time to have it so that we have the best turnout. But everybody's voice can be heard, and they will be voted anyway.
Okay, so when do they make that decision on when they will hold that vote? If they decide that they're definitely doing it.
But that's part of our next, the next time that we sit down and talk about this as it's a open topic. We are leaning in that direction.
Meaning they're gonna call another select board special meeting?
We haven't decided yet,
Okay,
because Jack's not here, we're gonna find out the time when we all.
okay. Well, because we also have a petition here for a vote.
Okay.
That I was gonna hand in today, but I'm gonna hold off.
Okay.
For a week, because I wanna coincide the dates.
Okay.
Okay, so I was told to make you aware of that.
And Chairman, your petition, please have it, Penn residents.
It is all Canton residents, 5%.
Because you are well studied in this, I'm curious, can you add a local vote to a national?
That's what I'm gonna
election?
check with them.
Okay,
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
check.
certain, other than otherwise.
I'm gonna check on adding on to a presidential election.
That's way too
Okay,
big.
let's just ask,
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, no, that's a great
point.
That's great.
Thanks.
Actually, Maggie, if you can check it.
Okay. Make sure that the next.
That would be better.
Anything else? Public comment? Thank you,
Just so that everybody can hear it.
Lauren Kaiser. I just had a couple of things I wanted, on this 2-minute rule, it seems to be coming up, first it was 2 minutes that you have on public comment. And now, if I understand, it is 2 minutes, and then that's it, you cannot.
So that was an error in how we understood what was coming together today. I didn't address that at the very beginning of the meeting.
Oh,
We were doing that, we were trying to do that, because we knew that there was a lot of public comment, and during the meeting last week, that, because it was a special meeting, the meeting was intended to be the discussion mostly between the select board members, so we wanted to kind of have a time for everybody to speak, but then also to have a time to speak, we had limited time, based on Zach's schedule.
okay. So I was just wondering if this is in line with, I haven't looked all the way, but I think Sharon had brought up at that last meeting, the Secretary of State and the one statute rules on how to select the meetings, and how they do have to be, there's no time frame that I see, maybe I didn't see it all. But they do have to be open and accessible to people, and public comment is very, important in transparency. The last thing I would say is that when it seems like you mentioned twice, Teresa, we, or the referring to the board, that we will make that decision, we will decide on.
But we do have to decide, that the select board on whether we're gonna have a vote. Again, the conversation that we had was that that's a really good idea. And so you as a select board have to make that. It's great that we have a petition coming as well.
And then the last thing I just had is, availability. I know I would like to be involved in other things, but I know my time, excuse me, is limited in certain ways. But I think if someone runs for a term on the select board, be it either chairperson or other, and then say, I'm not available, I'm having a birthday, I'm in Portugal, I'm here, I'm there. Mr. Weaver, I think, was gone, he said on vacation, he's not here tonight.
Actually, Mr. Weaver is working tonight. He's on the road worker. And was hoping to be here. He's usually on Zoom. He's not here in person. And he was not available because he was on vacation. And those vacations were planned far in advance.
You know, suggest maybe really looking at, the committee. So that we sort of do, I'm doing this and doing that, and,
I understand.
So are you suggesting that I would move my vacation?
no, not at all,
Right,
no,
meeting time for the town?
right,
I think one thing I want to say in defense of Howard puts more hours into
I realize
this
that,
town.
and I really think,
So I think that, and you know, when he had the fusion plan and then those solar meetings had come up, I was working, I couldn't be there, that was. working. And I think, all of us have been here in our own defense, whether you vote for us or don't vote for us. We have been on this board for, on average, 9 years, and we made 95% of the meetings. And so I think that generally we are.
okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Thank you. All right.
What's the little number, Tom?
Set up a professional audio and video settings. I believe Sean is raising his hand.
Okay, Sean?
I can barely hear you. That speaker hasn't been working the whole time, so I'm not going to
Sorry
repeat
about that.
anything that perhaps other people have said at all. At the next meeting, I'd like to continue to share some factual information as it relates to the impact of projects like this. And even I'd be curious what you refer this project to. What type of project is this? Because one question that came up that I brought up last time specifically was whether other power generating companies are being types are being considered, and I was told no. I appreciate that. But I believe Teresa, and again, maybe I didn't hear properly, but when you said that the health impact is no different than any other type of power generation activities from solar farms, I wanted to just clarify that the baseline is 0. It's not, or it's current use versus other solar or other power generation, right?
Okay.
Well, no, okay. I guess that was a question. Is that what you stated, or did I mishear you?
Oh, no, I stated, I had all of the notes that I took based on the.
Never mind. I can't hear
Can
you.
hear
That's
me now?
not working.
hear me
I think
now?
it's like it's not plugged in or something. It's like in and out, in and out.
Okay.
No worries.
We're trying to rectify it, hang on.
You can try.
Yeah. So again, I guess I'd like some clarification on that. Right? Are we looking at a baseline of human health impact to other power generating facilities from your research, or from the baseline of the current use of the land? Because while there may not be any difference between nothing greater or lesser than other types of power generation, i.e., any other type, there is a difference in this scenario specifically, right?
And so you're saying to me, if I heard you correctly, that there is no difference in can you hear me?
I can't. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
I'll ask that question another time.
Okay, sorry about the audio.
That's why I asked that question at the last meeting in the comment section.
Okay,
If you're considering other types of power generation. But I'm planning to prepare more research as an abutter, and submit research documents if that's of any help to you as you're reading in and learning more about this. about this type of business. I mean, do you consider this a renewable energy project? Because if the credits are being sold out of state and perhaps even out of our region, then it's not. And in fact, the state's attorney has a good guidance document will help you understand the languages that can be used to prevent the greenwashing that large companies that we're seeing, as well as decision makers that really have to figure it out. Is this the right thing for us? Is this truly adding value to our overall environment when it comes to safety, when it comes to the sustainability of our citizens? And really the answer is no, because this power generation is being sold out of state. It's not like the microgrid that benefited Green Mountain Power. They're keeping the credits and then they're selling them to other businesses out of state and out of region, which is another big deal, out of the New England power region. And if that's not knowledgeable or information that's understood, there's plenty of guidance right on Green Mountain Power's webpage, but I also have slide deck after slide deck with references that I'd be happy to share with everyone to help them realize that it's a little different than supporting our community, supporting our state versus a company coming in and quite frankly, bribing the towns with oh, by the way, federal money, tax dollars, to benefit themselves more than anybody else. It's like the old Native American adage: if you cut 2 inches of a blanket off the bottom and sew it to the top, you think you have a longer blanket, and that's kind of applicable here in this scenario. So I know my time is up, and I really can't add any of my other questions without hearing. So I'm happy to provide whatever documents you need, understanding that at the last meeting, none of you have been really read into this at all from what I've heard. That's all.
They can't hear me, so there is no, what I was saying, the time limit thing was a miscommunication, so there isn't a time limit. But like you said, you're having a hard time hearing us. So yeah, you can't, I don't find it. This is David, your work for David, so I don't know why.
May I step aside from clerk and your public comment?
Well, she's not a resident of town. And it's
Well,
just
we're
like
not
that.
allowed to actually stop
and-
it, even though we're not a resident at all.
And plus, she's working with the county. He has a public comment, please come on board. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Just have a follow-up to it. How come the two of you are sitting on your select board, the majority of the select board, and you are making decisions on contracts and signing contracts and that, yet there has to be 3 of you here to discuss solar issues?
No, it doesn't take 3 to talk about solar issues, but it makes it more representative of the community when there's 3.
It's not regular business.
If there was only one of us, we could not actually perform business. Being a 3-board select board, we always have to have 2 to do any form of business.
And and the way that I see it, we're gonna create a statement that represents the select board. That's for, I don't know, great for us here to have that conversation. Sometimes we may be that we can't find a date soon enough, and Zach will have to come in on Zoom. I don't know, we have not had that data. Like coordinator calendars.
It's hard for us too, you know. There's a lot of stuff.
Well, it just seems you're using the 3, I mean, you're making all these other decisions. With just 2 of you, yeah.
Most of the other business.
Yeah, well, if your solar project is not town business,
No, I'm not saying that it's not town business, I'm saying it's not regular business, it's not stuff that we do every week on a regular basis, that we need to make create a town statement for.
I mean, whether it's payroll or other things, purchasing gravel or having reports and road, That's our basically day-to-day operations that we listen to.
Is there anything about pros and cons about this? Because I see more cons about putting the solar up. I mean, I have to move my next day. And, I just don't understand why anybody's for something, unless you really know what's going on, what's the rate. You think this weather's going nuts now? Wait till they put the 300 acres up. We're gonna have more flooding, more tornadoes. There's anybody with asthma, anybody with heart attack, anybody that has a pacemaker, anybody that has anything like that kind of medical cannot live around. I can't stay there. The lady next door can't stay. Does anybody have, is written anything about that? Because there's a lot of negative about this, the heat that raises up. Nobody's mentioned that. I would like, besides the pictures of this, they should put what the effects of people around it, right in front of me. I just would like someone, I have to do it, I can do it. When would this decision of the voters here are voting, really, the voting, how much do we have control over the voting? Is it just a,
The voting would, well, I mean,
does it feed us, or is it, do we have control over it?
I'm gonna answer the first question about the voting. The voting, well, it's not the first question, but, the voting is for us to get the best representation of the town. Okay, what people feel about the town. And I understand that you think that you can't imagine that anyone would be in favor of this, and yet I would say.
If someone's favorite does not know the whole, does not know the whole thing, if your favorite does not know the whole thing, I'm sorry.
That's fine that you feel that way. Obviously, there are people who think that it's a good idea because they're proposing it.
Well, yeah, well, one proposal, of course, it's all about the money.
Okay,
You know how much money that's something that they're gonna get?
So all I'm saying is
One at a
that,
time, so we.
all I'm saying is that there are people who are for this.
I,
And you may not understand how they could be, and that's okay. And there may be people who don't understand how you could be against it, and
well,
that's
I do
And that's-
understand.
and that's okay too. And what we're trying to do with the vote, which would, we have to look at the language so that it's not a biased question. Because we know that we get phone calls every day that ask us biased questions. That we want to make sure it would be in general, based on the information. This is not what the question will say, but something along these lines. And the information that's been given, would you be in for, or, it's just kind of a for or against, so that we can get a full representation on how the town goes. So that's it.
And how much time do we have? Because I know they've been proposing this for 8 years, so what?
Okay,
So what do we have?
Okay, so there is they call it 45-day time. That has not started. They don't expect that to start anytime before the fall. And then after that 45-day, which is a kind of a formality, but it's the Public Utility Commission on that one. And then they said the smaller, for example, the one that's going through in Shaftesbury, they expect it to take no less than 18 months to go through all of these times. And during this whole process, everyone affected by it, especially land abutters, will have a voice in the entire process. Because it goes through it's gonna go through Environmental Conservation, Utilities Commission. So our time frame, quote unquote time frame, has not yet started. That 45 days has not yet started. And just to be perfectly clear, no one has made any presentation yet to the select board, not like they did to the DRB, but nobody has presented to us yet. So we're gathering information. We are working our way towards a town statement. But we also acknowledge that we still have time.
And who's the last word? Last word, say no, it's gotta go to where, the state?
Goes to the public.
Goes to the Public Utility Commission.
EUC, it's awesome.
Couple of things, but, 3 Point has been in front of the Public Utilities Commission for 18 months on the Shaftesbury project. There has been no permit issue. Okay, they do not have permission to install their solar panels yet. It's taking that long because the community down there is rabidly opposing this project. They do not want it on their land, period. Okay, so I'm just saying that, 45 days. It's just- 45 days is just notice. It doesn't, it's 45 days, it's not a period that you go before the Public Utilities Commission. That's just like short notice that we're gonna apply for this
Correct.
application. We're gonna apply for this, project.
So at this time, they might not even do this.
Well, wouldn't that be nice? We would all go home and get.
That would be nice.
So it's just like, you're asking us again to be prepared for, something that's happening, and it might not even happen. So
Right.
you don't really know anything that's going to happen. And it's just, so there's a point of like, we're hearing you and we're listening to what you're saying. But again, it's just like gathering your army and get ready to say, who are you fighting?
Right,
Well,
so,
we
and
don't know.
like I said, stated in the last meeting, there's a whole group of people who are saying, we gotta hurry up and get ready. And there's a whole group of people going, slow down, take your time, and we're trying to balance that.
Right.
Okay.
Just one other thing, if I could, back to the minutes, the updated, open meeting law states that the video, the recording will remain on the website for 30 days past the approved written minutes. So I'm asking if this recording will remain longer because there are going to be no approved written minutes.
There will be approved written minutes, it won't be a full transcript, and I have no reason to take the recording down now, right? I mean,
So it's gonna be on the website.
Well, it's on YouTube. I mean, that's where it is. If you go to YouTube.
Right, what she's saying.
So is it gonna stay there? I mean, I've already downloaded it, so, but other people may not have seen it yet.
so that is a Phantom channel, and that's on YouTube that I created so that, because that's the way our website is equipped to upload videos through that link, and so again, there's no reason to remove anything from there. I mean, we could.
Okay, because the public comments on this issue are very important for people to hear. The other people that couldn't make it to the meeting, I did notice that there were like quite a few views of that. I mean, last I looked, it was 26, the other ones only had like 3 or 4. So people are watching and listening and want to hear what everybody is saying. So that's why I'm asking that question, so it will remain longer than the 30 days.
Is there anybody else that have?
This asking today, if there's someone that's not a land of others, they're not allowed to vote, if you put this up for a vote, in your name, so.
Why not?
Are they residents of Hampton?
No, they pay taxes, they can't.
Well, no, when you vote, there's like one man, one vote. That is the kind of like the idea of the United States. You can't say, well, I live in Florida, I live in Mississippi. You cannot sit there and say, I'm voting. It's like your residence.
I understand why people, that would feel like a really important thing to do, but that is not, it doesn't look like that.
Yeah, it would be also people who live on the lake, who also live in Florida, and they sit there and want to decide on this, on these taxes, and they can't vote. It's like, well, it's your choice, you do where you are and vote there, because I can't vote on what's going on in California. Because I have, land, but I'm just saying.
Howard, clarify, the Public Utility Commission, is that what you see, and the state, how do they, it sounds like they've got quite power, I'm not sure they're a lot of power in the state. How would that reflect us here, you as the town, and who would make, if they say they have to review all this, I guess I'm wondering how much the big side versus the town side, or, how much.
If it gets to the Public Utilities Commission, they get to decide. We can appeal it, The Public Utilities Commission does make that decision.
And the final appeal on anything that
Goes
happens
to the
here
Supreme Court.
goes to the state Supreme Court. So the question is, you know, how that works, but basically, we're writing the vaccine with the veteran. We have really no say or anything on that issue at all. We,
Once if it gets through all of those parts and actually gets in front of the Public Utilities Commission, the Public Utilities Commission.
And that differs from the one that service.
That's part of it.
Right, okay.
You're welcome.
But it's what they said last week, they do consider very strongly what the town wants.
Correct.
And if the town is opposed to it, the utility company has to provide above and beyond really high hurdle to get it approved.
Yep.
Of what the benefit is. Never heard.
And that's why it was so important, especially for the landowners who are gonna be the people with the most voice. They're gonna hear everybody else, but there's going to be a special group of people who are the people who land abuts the project. Those people have their own special group and they will be listened to. They're a big part of the process.
That's where they can't vote in the town and election, they're not a resident, but they can, the
Absolutely.
landowners go to the.
Absolutely, they're a part of that process. Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Thanks everybody for coming.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to communications. I had a meeting with the Virginia Area Rescue Squad last week, basically discussing about performance of ambulance service in the area. This is a meeting that is attended by the 5 towns, that would be Addison, Walton, Virginia, Harrisburg, and the town of Hackett. We're discussing about mass improvement of the Virginia areas out of the year. So we're trying to get them the ability to respond 24/7. That is something that is very strong for me to work on with them. And we have a great relationship with all the 5 towns. And right now we're approximately spending $10,000 a year as known as Virginia Rescue Squad, known as VARS, and we're probably definitely going to have to beef that up. We're really trusting them to hire 4 more people full-time, so they have a staff of 7 full-time people, so we don't have long waits of 55 minutes or not showing up at all. When you have an emergency, when you down that one, you expect someone's going to come to your house.
And we don't, what's been happening is that people are calling that, there's for jets, and then it gets farmed out to Charlotte and Middlebury.
Are the gens busy on another call?
No, it was, they had about 72 days, total number of hours, not, not near anything. Number of hours, number of days, that number of hours where the station was completely unmanned.
So as a retired fireman and paramedic for 30 years, I'm pretty much an expert on this for response. So I worked in the suburbs of Chicago where we made 10,000 runs a year. So we changed runs a little more than 1,000.
So we just wanted to get them upgrades so that we have full-time 24/7 coverage. And we believe this is a really important investment for the town.
It's probably the most important one.
If you dial 911, we'll see the answer.
How much is that?
We're not sure yet, but it's gonna get, it's gonna be proportionally split between the 5 towns that are getting covered by.
I think that's on.
Yeah,
It's
we just wanted to be professional.
yeah, we're looking per capita per the amount of population, cost factors on that. And I will honestly say that working with Harrisburg and Virginia and Waltham and Addison, we are a strong power front, and this is something they will do, period.
We just have to kind of we gotta work out the details and the logistics, because we believe that if they offer, professional, full-time with, good salary and benefits, that people will start by volunteering here and then leave to go to professional, to go to a professional job, because that's what happens, and it's not unusual, but we wanna kind of stem the flow, because we believe that everybody has the right, everybody has the right to dial 911 and get a response in a reasonable amount of time.
Well, when you pick up the phone, you think they're coming.
So we're a family of special needs, right?
I appreciate that, this is a big issue for me. And
I
I'm,
work, my husband, who's in here, he was, in California, he saw more there, than we're there. So, and it's about time,
So it's been kind of it's been a little bit of a cakewalk trying to, or more like eggshells trying to figure out how to get in there and make it all work, but we're getting there. It's been, we've been doing this.
Say what, 2, maybe 3?
What?
People?
Oh, no, we're adding 4 full-time people, so that they are manned
To
with.
serve the 5 towns.
To serve the 5 towns who are gonna, so that there are always 2 paramedics in the station. So. Okay. Any other communications?
it's September 19th.
Is it Thursday? Oh, well, I'll be down, so my September 19th.
And you'll be working this week.
I'll be back to school and I will not, what you say, some of our brothers.
Anything else for communications?
I submitted the first, legal counsel and advocates invoice to the escrow agreement today. I have left a message that we do is the fund contractor. I'm hoping that she'll get it this week and next and sort that stuff out and ask questions about the best way to, for instance, document flood things and making accounts, right this minute, not including wages or overtime or equipment, we've got $8,900 in costs for repairs around town thus far. GMP sent a notice that they're asking for a rate increase of 5.26%, which residential will add about $6 to the bill. It's a little different than that, but and then you did have a letter of thanks for Jim Larrow this year, which is signed and stuff.
Okay, great.
This is a letter thanking Jim Larrow, as Public Works Director for JEDS, for the help that he provided to our work in the last 2 weeks.
Great. And I'll form another one for the town. Okay, any more under communications? Let us move on to accounts payable, taxes, and anything else.
The accounts payable warrant for this week is $40,590.76. One of those, about 4,200 is the last payment of the cupola loan.
Yay!
Yeah. Payroll is $8,817.51. About 30 hours.
Yeah.
Does woman know who the man in orange shirt was sitting on the bench over there? I just don't know who he is.
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
Yes. Training darker glasses. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to accept the accounts payable, time sheets, and payroll warrants. All in favor? Aye. I'd like to make a motion within the executive session to talk about legal issues. Thank you for everybody coming. There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Can you look into the audio situation? I'm sure that your review of the Zoom meeting will show that we couldn't hear anything throughout the whole meeting. It's as if, like, it's probably the video camera is your microphone. That's what it's defaulted to, and it's too far away versus the one that's on your on your table. But that'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. Have a good day.
Thank you. I'm Melissa.
You're gonna want to start.
A motion to close the meeting. Is there a second?
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
6:50.